I was really excited to see earlier how someone was presenting on his company, and he was really more on the creative side, less on the tech side. And we know that there's some overlap in there, and so it's really exciting to see that this is really open to the entire community. So thank you so much for joining. My name is Rachel Gomez, and I've been hosting UNLV's Business Innovation Essentials for about 2 years. UNLV actually, I think, was probably one of the founders with Josh and with putting this whole tech alley together. So we've been around since the very beginning, so for about 5 years, and we do bring in different guest speakers and different people from the university itself to talk about some of the resources that we offer to our community. So that is a lot of what we present and we talk about during our Tech Alley meetups. And then, of course, we like to hear from you. You know, we learn about the pain points, and then in return, what sort of services and resources we can offer, the more that we get to hear from you. And, you know, it's really interesting because we had CES last week, and we had some pre-CES conferences with businesses visiting from all around the world. And it was really exciting to see, and as we were speaking to them, we talked a lot about Las Vegas as a whole. Las Vegas still being kind of a small town, but with this big global mentality. And a lot of people coming here for many different reasons, but that we are still very much based on personal connections and relationships. And, you know, we find our what is that called? It's degrees of separation. That ours here in Las Vegas are more like 2, whereas in other large metropolitan areas it might be more like 6 degrees of separation. So here, when you want to have something done, it's a lot, we just tend to be a lot more, I guess, helpful, supportive, and so you can see that through programs like this at Tech Alley. So, again, my name is Rachel Gomez. I'm a business advisor with the Small Business Development Center under UNLV. The Small Business Development Center is actually a national organization. We are primarily funded by the SBA, so that is your tax dollars at work. And we have SBDC locations in every state. Here in Las Vegas, we have 2, one based here, in Nevada. We have one based here in Las Vegas and then one based in Reno. And here in Las Vegas, we're probably about 12 business advisors supporting our entire Las Vegas small business community. And so each business advisor has a different skill set, background, set of experiences to help our startup community. Mine in particular, I'm a serial entrepreneur, so I'm a tech founder. I understand kind of the tech space, the tech founder mentality. I have a platform which is kind of like a LinkedIn for the creative community, big passion of mine, arts, creative, and entertainment industry. So I have a tech platform. I've also been HR consultant. I've owned a staffing agency and an executive search firm, did a lot of corporate recruiting, corporate HR. So compliance, hiring, employment law, those things related to growing a small business we know is very important. And also, one of the things we were going to cover today is the pain points, right, of a small business owner. And we know that hiring is essential to being able to grow, but there are a lot of questions and a lot of pain points surrounding that. So I did want to have a chance to be able to discuss that. Let's see what else. I'm also board president and founder for a new business chamber in town representing the arts and creative community called ACE Chamber. Again, kind of in that startup mode. You know, how do you put a good, strong team together to be able to execute on some of your initiatives and goals, and for a nonprofit, your mission, right, your overall vision. Let's see, so that's a little bit about me, and gosh, I guess we're not going to have any slides up for now, so that's okay. So I really did want to hear from the community. Some of you are new. I don't recognize some of you. I recognize a few of you, but for those of you that are new here, I'd really love to hear from you. This really is about, again, us learning how we can best support our community. Anybody want to stand up and introduce themselves, their business, what they're working on, and maybe some of their pain points? Share a little bit with us. That's okay. As we go along, feel free to raise your hand. Feel free to raise your hand and we can talk about that. So through the university, we do have a number of different resources. We have internship programs. We have an area for licensing, IP, those sort of partnerships. We have a business and industry engagement area that's really having conversations with big global companies and seeing how we can fund research at UNLV and have more of a partnership with our business community. So we do a lot of things. For the SBDC in particular, again, we are kind of that arm underneath UNLV, Office of Economic Development. And we provide services, whether it's, hey, Rachel, I have an idea. Can we kind of brainstorm it through and see the feasibility of it? Or, Rachel, I'm ready to start my business and I need help with registering, becoming a formal legal entity. What are the requirements for that? Or, Rachel, I'm going to need some funding. So what funding options are available for me? If we look at traditional bank loans, what are the requirements with business plans, financials? And those are all of the things that business advisors with the SBDC can help you with. In addition to that, we help with every stage of growth. So if you are, as business, how many here is a business owner? Okay. How many here has employees? Okay, great. Did you notice a difference going from being a solopreneur and having your own business to now having to hire people? Did you notice a difference in terms of, your strategies maybe having to change? You have to wear a different hat now. When you were a solopreneur as a business owner, you're wearing multiple hats, right? You have to do everything yourself. And that doesn't necessarily mean that you're good at everything. So part of that challenge is, what is my strategy going to be so I can take my business, utilize my strengths, take it to the next level, and identify when it's time to bring somebody else in. That means could be hiring people, it could be partnering. We talk a lot about strategic partnerships in this town as well. Sometimes that's the best way to market and promote your business is by partnering with somebody else who possibly has that need that you're offering. Sorry, I think we're still having trouble here. Oh, thank you. I keep turning around like, I think I need a picture here or something. So bear with me, but I appreciate it. So, when the SBDC, we have, I think in the latest surveys we did, we had about, and this was probably from 2023, we have about 8,000 businesses, small businesses that we serve here in Las Vegas. And think about that, we're, 12 business advisors? And so oftentimes they come to us, again, because they just have questions that nobody else has been able to answer. And it's really interesting because we'll attend all these different events, we'll go to CES, we'll go to all these business expos, and we'll have a table and a booth there. And what we find is if the other booths aren't able to answer the questions, they go to SBDC. So we tend to be kind of a catch-all, which is great because at the end of the day, we want to get answers to your questions, right? We want to be able to help you. We want to be able to provide you with those resources that you need. So in these latest surveys, I think it was about 7,000 or 8,000 that we serve. And what are the areas for growth that we measure? Because again, We're federally funded by the SBA, so we know that if we're getting federal dollars, we have to meet different metrics. We have different growth measures that we have to report in order to be able to keep that funding going. And so we look at the number of clients that we serve based on the actual growth in that market. We also look at increase in hires, right? That's another growth indicator. We look at increase in sales. Ooh, is that coming up? We look at increase in sales. And so there are all of these things that our goals in not just measuring out to our funders, but our goals for us to be able to measure what our actual impact is to the local community. I know, I'm so sorry. I'm a little distracted here. But yeah, so when we look at our local businesses, I would say because of the growth of Las Vegas right now, the majority of the clients that we're getting in are new startups. You know, we like to think, okay, the SBDC can come in to an established business and help them with some of their hiring practices, retention practices, compliance issues, marketing strategies, digital strategies. We can help in all of those areas, but the majority of who is coming to us looking for help are small startups, right? Rachel, I have this idea. A lot of tech startups too. It's like, you know, Rachel, I've been working on this. I just don't know what I don't know. Can you help me work through the process to make sure that I'm prepared? And one great thing with UNLV and the resources that we have, we do a lot of partnerships as well. So we work with like Zero Labs. Anybody here familiar with Zero Labs? So they're a tech incubator out of UNLV, and they help a lot of tech startups, right? Kind of formulate their ideas, figure out how to do the market research part of it, the market analysis piece of it, and then really get them to the point of, and the majority are still pre-MVP, right? Get them to the point of what do we need to do to pitch to potential investors so that we can do our MVP. And so we have access to all of these different resources. And I do want to introduce you to another business advisor with the SBDC, Karma Hunter. And she tends to work a lot with our tech community as well, and helps our clients with a lot of their marketing needs. Thank you, Karma.
First round of applause to Rachel for these technical difficulties. We work together and she knows her stuff, so that's how she's able to improvise so well. Thank you. Yes, I work with Rachel at Small Business Development Center at UNLV's Office of Economic Development, and both of us help with a lot of tech startups. And like she was saying, we help with ideation, formation, and then sometimes POC assessments and giving you more resources. One of the resources that we're bringing in is more pitch competitions and more tech development help. So I organize AI pitch competition twice a year. And what we saw was that there are a lot of founders who have an idea, but they don't want to pitch yet because they're not ready. Or they feel like they're not ready and they don't know where to start from and they don't have that confidence. So we decided to do another pitch competition. It is designed to help women founders, but it's open to all genders. Before this pitch competition, we're going to be doing a pitch prep workshop, January 31st. This pitch prep workshop is going to be at the Bottega Exchange, and 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. So we're going to talk about how a good pitch is supposed to be, right? The structure of the pitch, what needs to go onto your pitch deck, What are different types of investors looking for? For instance, investors or banks or different programs or maybe development support, right? What are they all different looking for? So we're going to talk about these and get you a nice pitch, and we're going to be able to practice. We're going to have a panel of experts as well. If you would like to sign up, please go to nevadasbdc.org and check out the events. The calendar or the events, you will see it on the 31st of January. And then the pitch competition itself is going to be February 25th. So if you have an idea, if you're developing anything, and it could be idea stage, it could be you already have a POC or you already have an MVP or you need more development help, please apply. And the winner will receive up to $35,000 development support, and the applicants, the eligible applicants, will get support up to $25,000. So also, even if you're not going to apply, come to the pitch prep workshop, because there's going to be a lot of great information. It would help you, even if you're not developing a tech product, it would help you with your elevator pitch and your regular investor pitch as well. So we would love to see you there, January 31st. And thank you, Rachel. Appreciate this.
Of course. Thank you, Karma. It's always great to be able to highlight some of our other business advisors, again, because everyone has a different strength that they bring to the team. So it's always really exciting to be able to work together. So thank you. You know, some of the other things we talk about, and again, I really do want to hear from you at some point, so feel free to raise your hand at any time. But some of the other ways that we offer support to the business community, so we, through UNLV, we have access to their interns. And so for our clients that come, especially in the very early stages, and it's, okay, Rachel, you know, how can I be found? I need some sort of a marketing strategy, a social media strategy. I don't have a website. They come to us for these during these very early stages. So we help them with, you know, with branding. What is the actual vibe and tone that you're trying to create for your company? And we help them in the very early stage. And through the interns at UNLV, they can step in and do a digital assessment of how you appear online to the rest of the business world. How can you be found? You know, SEO strategies. And we also have interns that will help with social media posts and creating content for you, as well as developing your website. So we do these as a team. So it's a really strong service and resource that we can offer as part of the UNLV SBDC cooperation team. Another thing is through the SBDC, we do a lot of work with the state and the different municipalities here in town and some of their programs. So it could be in the form of grants. You know, at the state level, we do a lot of work with their SSBCI, which is their state small business credit initiative, as well as Battle-Born Ventures, which is kind of a matching program for investors looking to invest in our small business community. We have access to that. We also work a lot with Employ NV. Anybody here familiar with Employ NV? Okay, great. Employ NV, if you're not familiar with it, I'd be happy to have a full discussion and kind of talk to you about how it might fit in with where you're at with your business. Employ NV is our workforce development department through the state. And it's really pretty wonderful because they have different programs where they will use state funds, meaning the state will pay to let you hire people for your business. So there's one program called WEX, W-E-X, and that's their youth program. So that goes from, you know, any students from 16 to 24, that they're just looking for that hands-on, real-world work experience. And you would treat it kind of like any other job that you're looking to fill. You'd have your job description, your job posts. You would use their system basically as your job portal. And whoever you end up hiring, the state will pay for 100%. And they pay for them for a period of about 3 months. So that's really, really helpful. Me being a tech founder for my company, I've probably hired 8 to 10 people using the Employee NV program. And that was really key for me at the time when I needed some visibility. I needed some brand awareness. I needed to get the name and the logo, get that brand awareness out there. And so these students came in and were very, very helpful and instrumental in being able to create that content for me. Have some regular, consistent messaging to the rest of the community. And it was at no cost to me. So that's really, really a wonderful program and service available to you guys. They have another program which is really meant for, well, over 24 adults. And it's an on-the-job training program. And it's really designed to help people expand upon their current skill sets. And in that program, the state reimburses you, so that employee would be your W-2 employee, and then the state would reimburse you 80 to 90%. Still a wonderful program. And so let me know, there's some specific requirements that they have, but the process is pretty simple, the reporting is pretty simple, but it's just a really great resource. Anybody here think they could utilize something like that? Yeah, hire people to help you with some of those things that maybe you don't need to be trying to do yourself, and have the state pay for them. I think that's a wonderful program. So yeah, so we help with all of those areas. Let's see what else. When we talked about funding, there are different funding options. When we talk about bank loans, a lot of people don't want to go the business loan route, and we kind of help you navigate through it and decide if that's really the best thing for you. In one respect, no, you don't want to do a business loan, and people want to be able to self-fund. But in the same sense, there's a value in being able to create that business credit history and banking relationship early on in the process. So we can help you decide, go through all of that. But one of the big things that we also help with is business plans. Anybody here have a business plan for their business already set up? And it's interesting because a lot, especially in the tech community, Silicon Valley, they're like, we don't look at business plans. We're looking at potential, ROI, and they're looking at something completely different. But traditionally, and especially if you're looking for any kind of funding, a business plan is still required. And even in those conversations with potential investors, at some point, the majority will still want to see a business plan. Why? They want to know that you know your business, your market, competition, your numbers, potential for growth. They want to know that you know how you're going to roll out your business or your products. So that's something that we help as well. So, you look at the SBDC as being able to assist in these different transactions, different things you may need to solve the pain points in your business at different times of growth. But we can also be your coach, your business coach, your leadership coach. We can help you manage and maneuver through some of these growing pains, whether it's growing in revenue, market share, hiring, in all of these different areas. So I hope that you take a look at that and reach out to us if you have any needs. So as Karma said, you can register with us, nevadasbdc.org. Since we are funded by the SBA primarily, federal tax dollars at work, we offer all of our services at no cost to you, ever. So people say, okay, that was our first initial session, how much is the next session? And it's still zero. So feel free to reach out to us. Let's see. Any pain points that I didn't cover? Any resources, needs that you might have in particular for, whatever stage your business is at? I'd love to hear from you guys. Oh, that's okay. That's okay. I know, yes.
How about advice on what you're doing wrong? Obviously no business plan, but everything else. Do you guys have people who just look at it and say, wow, you're really discombobulated here?
Yeah, that's a great question. Again, can we help assist in the areas or help point out areas that maybe you're not doing as well as you should be, right? And that's kind of the beauty of what we do. Our clients, we kind of work with them ongoing. We do a lot of accountability checks with them. Whether it's a business plan or not, whether it's just like, Rachel, I tried this, it didn't work. Or, I've put all of my effort into these marketing strategies and I'm just not getting the conversion and they're just not turning into customers. What am I doing wrong? So we can help you absolutely through all of that. But it really is a matter of let's sit down, let's talk about it, let's see what you've done, see where you're trying to get to, and let's figure out that gap, right? And figure out what is it that's not working. And maybe it requires a completely different strategy. And maybe we actually need to get you to pivot. And so that's going to come from those one-on-one counseling sessions. So good question, thank you. And then oftentimes we can actually point you into the right direction and give you that specific resource. Yes?
Yeah, also no business plan here, but what are 3 to 5 of the biggest mistakes that you see that the small businesses that you work with are making?
Oh, good question. 3 to 5 biggest mistakes that I'm seeing. One is scaling too quickly without having a real plan in place. Like, it's great when we have a great product and we think everybody is going to love it, and we have these great visions and we plan for we plan for that full scale, and yet we're not really, how are you going to fund it? And it only works if all these different variables fall into place. So one, it's not planning for it in the correct way. Scaling too quickly, meaning if you hire people, but they're not really in the right roles because you haven't identified what your actual plan and strategy should be, and you're just sort of plugging them in because that's how we started. I need to put more people on that social media marketing side, or I need somebody to come in and learn AI so they can simplify my processes without having a real plan and direction of where you need to be. So I know from my approach, what I do with my clients, it's a very phased approach. And every client's going to be different, but I'm not a big believer in rolling everything out at once. Sometimes things are interdependent, and sometimes things are dependent on the success of that first phase. So I think careful planning is a big part of it. Funding is another. Most are not in a position to self-fund the entire process. So depending on the industry, depending on the niche, depending on the products, not every investor is going to be interested in your thing, right? Another thing is underestimating the power of relationships, like I said in the beginning. Networking, this town loves networking. It loves these sort of events. And so take the opportunity to talk to people, share your ideas as best you can, and make those connections. Oftentimes they can be much more collaborative in nature and not feel like you're being competitive or not feeling like, wow, I'm sharing proprietary information. It could be like, oh, you know what, I could really use somebody like you at this stage, and just to have those conversations. But there are a lot of networking opportunities, and then resources. That's here in Vegas in particular. It is a matter of you can do everything yourself, kind of back to that same notion. You can do everything yourself and wear that hat yourself, or you can reach out and try to figure out what resources are available to you so you can get to where you need to be faster, using less of your own funds. I'm sure more will come to mind, but for now, those are the ones that come to mind. Yes?
What's the best way to connect with you?
If you register with us at nevadasbdc.org, there's going to be a section there asking for the center site. Select UNLV, and where it says referral description, put my name down, Rachel Gomez. And then that goes to the state office, and then they will assign you directly to me. If you leave it blank, they will find another business advisor that they feel has the background to help support you as well.
Love it. Thank you.
Sure thing. Any other questions? Yes.
What are some key characteristics that you feel is unique to the Nevada ecosystem that may not be for other states? Like other industries that might excel or strategies that might excel?
Oh, some key unique qualities for Nevada. You know, that's really interesting. I think one is because we are already the kind of the conduit maybe, but really global businesses have their eyeballs on us, right? In all different industries. We see that every day. And with our expos and our conferences and conventions, we see that they come here to Las Vegas to see how they can do business in the United States and how they can do business in Las Vegas in particular. So we have a global mentality. Again, I still view us as a small town, but we do have this global mentality, which means our reach can be a lot greater than in other cities and in other areas. We don't have the reputation of Silicon Valley, but that's okay. You know, we have the opportunity to partner, to collaborate. Doing business here in Nevada, we all know the business incentives in order to do that. But I think because just by the fact that we have so many eyeballs on us, that should be kind of an indicator for us, like, does my product, does my service, my business offering, is that something that can, that can take advantage of those eyeballs? Is that something that we do immediate marketing towards those eyeballs? Is that something where I can go to these, pre-conference meetups and community meetups and meet other people and pitch my product or service or offering? And I think that's something that is unique to Nevada and Las Vegas in particular.
Great answer.
Anyone else? I think you have me for a little bit more time since I have nothing to show. So feel free to pick my brain. Or Karma's.
What businesses have you helped previously that we might know about?
Through the SBDC, great question. Again, a lot of them are startups, and they cover pretty much every industry that you see here in town. So we have, of course we've got restaurants, we have food trucks. As the different municipalities kind of stepped up their grants and different funding opportunities, that's where we see a lot of that growth, or some flexibility in licensing. So even along the line of food service, we see a lot of food trucks, and then the what do they call them? The street vendors. So we have a lot of small industry growth there. Tech space, absolutely. I have seen that explode just in the last couple of years. And so the majority of clients that I've been getting have been in the tech space, and then the creative space as well. So that's another one. But tech in particular, I get, especially with AI, I have a lot of companies that are either creating AI products or their businesses are relying on AI. And so it allows them to create and produce something quickly, but it leaves a lot of gaps in terms of, is this really viable? The data behind it in terms of how many companies are doing the same thing, using the same type of products and similar functionalities, I think is still really early. And so oftentimes companies will come to me and it'll be, I have this unique idea, the best, and nobody's thought of it. And oftentimes it's like, okay, let's talk about this because maybe the data's not out there. But the systems and those tools are out there and people are using them. So let's make sure that you have a unique perspective, a unique value prop, a unique approach or communication, whatever it might be. We have to make sure that that yours is unique. Creative space is another one. We have a lot of freelancers here in town, and they're not realizing that they're business owners. So what does that mean? As these eyeballs have been coming to Vegas on, the film studios, our entertainment scene, what does that mean for our actual local group of creatives? And we know, I'm a creative, they don't wear both hats. So usually it's the one hat where it's just always creating and storytelling, but they don't think in terms of taxes. They don't think in terms of collaboration. They don't think in terms of being part of an ecosystem that feeds into our revenue system here in Las Vegas. They don't think in terms of being one of the leaders stepping out to help lead and grow that ecosystem. So there's a lot of coaching that's taking place based on these other industries that are really kind of exploding right now. And so those are big areas that we see. Yes?
Do you think there will be another SBDC grant program this year?
So supported by SBDC, hosted by SBDC,
Yeah,
you
there
mean?
was one last year that was SBDC, IndyGrow, CSN. There were a bunch of groups involved.
That's a really good question because with all of the, with the different cuts to the different programs, we're seeing how some of the programs like SBDC, some of our sister partner organizations, have lost some of their funding, if not all. And so this is kind of the time where we're kind of taking a look at to see where the money's coming from and what we can provide our clients. So a lot of this is really working with the different municipalities because they have grants. The state has different grants. And so the SBDC in particular, what do we have as of right now?
I mean, SBDC doesn't particularly offer the grant. We help with the application process, or, we help get it in front of you guys, but
Yeah, a lot of what we do is really partnering.
yes.
We're, again, primarily funded by the SBA. A lot of clients come to us looking for SBA loans. We don't do actual SBA loans, right? So we can help you partner with one of our lending partners, our banks, CDFIs, et cetera, to present your information and help you get qualified for these things. We help you if you are looking for an SBIR, STTR grant. We know that there have been a lot of cuts to that program, but we know that some still exist, or at least when they're ready to open up, you are ready to submit your stuff. Yes?
What is CDFI?
Community Development Fund Initiative. So it's non-traditional lending. And it's, I don't know if I'm saying it correctly, but it's more of a collection of different investors and sponsors of funding opportunities. Yes?
Does Nevada have, the UNLV have a flight school?
A flight school?
Like, pilot?
I don't think so.
In Nevada, there are different flight schools, but not by UNLV. They're private flight schools.
Right. There's a lot of growth happening here in this town, and a lot of growth coming out of UNLV partnerships. So keep an eye out on that as you go out and you network, as you go and you attend these different business conferences. kind of keep an eye out for what UNLV is doing. I know we own land and property here in town, and so part of our goal is to partner with some of the larger industries to help bring those industries into town. So like aerospace is one industry, definitely more in healthcare. Those are big, big needs for our state. You know, so partnering with potential hospital systems to utilize those spaces, we are looking for those sort of things. Flight school, we don't have it, but I think there's opportunity in a lot of different areas that we don't currently have. Any other questions?
Could you explain some of UNLV's partnerships, like what companies UNLV's working with?
I was actually hoping to have some ready for you to prepare and to present to you. I will probably have them in place by the next meetup. I'm trying to collect some of those success stories right now in terms of the larger industries that we're currently working with. But UNLV, the office, you know, we've got the campus, and the office that Karma and I work out of is Blackfire Innovation, if you guys are familiar with it. And it's really our tech and research park. So we have large companies come in and they test out their new technology. We've got LG testing out new technology. We have some sponsored by casinos where students can come in and practice some of their skills on, you know, actual slot machines. We've got a food and beverage lab that we're trying to put together right now at UNLV. We have a hospitality lab, which is actually really interesting, which the hospitality lab has kind of mimicked hotel rooms that have new technologies, so things like movable walls, some of the, like the linens that they're testing out are antimicrobial linen. So we're testing out a lot of new products out of that space. And so those are in partnership with like Bally's, LG I mentioned. We have some of, who's the one in the big arena area? So we have a big gaming company.
Boyd?
Is it Boyd? Well, it's more video games.
Oh, the esports one.
The esports. We have an esports area, and so they will come in and they'll test out new gaming technology. So a lot of partnerships in terms of research happening out of that space. And we are looking to, you know, when you think about an educational institution, right? It's like, okay, well, what sort of partnerships are they looking for? Because at the end of the day, what are they, you know, what does the school need? And so a lot of that is funding themselves. So funding in terms of research dollars that can partner with our engineering school, with our medical school. We have a lot of emphasis right now in biotech and brain health. So there have been a lot of studies, actually really interesting. I think I'm allowed to say it, but I know there's been a lot of testing, like even with our own water system, so things dealing with sustainability. Those are very, very important to us right now. I don't have actual companies quite yet to share with you, but those are big areas for us. And then, of course, again, healthcare, so the medical school, that's something that we just built out the last couple of years. So anything dealing in that area. Creative, you know, that's a real challenge for us in the creative space. We have this incredible fine arts department and performing arts department, and so these students get this quality education, performance opportunities, but then if they're not part of the entertainment side of things on the strip that kind of locks them into, you know, what they can do career-wise, many of them leave. Many leave our town. So that is a big challenge for us, and that's something that we're trying to look at using UNLV kind of as that community pillar, right? To see how can what do we need to do so that everything that we produce out of here, everything that we create, and all these ecosystems that we're trying to be part of or to develop, how do we make sure that it stays here, it translates into more jobs, it translates to revenue for our city, and sustainability, right? Sustainable opportunities for us. You know, talking about that creative space, really interesting. We're actually really great when it comes to like our rates. So we do a production, people come in from out of state, and we have really great rates for them to be able to perform here. But then they leave and they take their money with them and they invest in their own towns. So that's not really, I mean, that's worked for us, right? Falling under tourism and entertainment revenue. But in the long run, we want to be able to have people come here and work and stay, build their businesses here, right? Build their careers here, have it grow so that we can provide more sustainable opportunities, and we keep the money here in our own ecosystem. So those are the type of partnerships we are looking for. So we've worked really hard on developing, those specific areas of growth that we've identified, but then really, what else do we need to do? And it's the perfect opportunity to invest in Las Vegas right now. Perfect opportunity. Perfect timing. Any other questions? Anyone want to share anything? Anyone want to share what they're working on? Any of their pain points? You guys have been great. I'll stick around here if you guys want to talk to me one-on-one. I'd be happy to answer any questions. I apologize for the technical difficulties and not being able to put up any slides for you guys, but hopefully we'll have that settled by next Tech Alley.
Great job, Rachel. Thank you.
Thank you.